After spending all his money on an old motorcycle, a delivery man discovers that it's actually a monster that, instead of running on fuel, feeds on its victims. The story unfolds in the movie I Bought a Vampire Motorcycle, 1990. It begins on a dark night when a group of occultists gathers under a highway to perform a ritual to summon Ahriman, the Prince of Hell. Just as the ritual is about to be completed, a gang of heavily armed bikers, led by Roach, interrupts the ceremony. Roach shoots an arrow at the cult leader, killing him, and the bikers proceed to massacre the rest of the group. However, they fail to notice that the cult leader, revived by a demonic spirit, transfers the spirit of Ahriman into a motorcycle by pouring his blood into its tank, turning it into a powerful, cursed machine. The next day, a delivery man named Naughty visits a motorcycle shop and buys the very bike possessed by the evil spirit, unaware of its dark power. He later takes the bike home, but strange things start to happen, especially after his friend Buzzer injures his hand and accidentally spills some blood on the engine, awakening the motorcycle's monstrous nature. The following day, Kim and Naughty leave the motorcycle at the workshop and head out for work. Before they leave, they notice that the fuel cap has mysteriously reappeared on the bike. Later, while at work, Kim gets a call from the police informing her that Buzzer has been in a terrible accident at his home. Naughty rushes over to Buzzer's place, where a neighbor tells him that someone broke into the house during the night. Inside, Naughty is shown the wreckage by a policeman. Blood and tire marks cover the walls. Inspector Cleaver then reveals Buzzer's decapitated body. After questioning Naughty, the inspector mentions he'll be in touch if there are any updates. Naughty, eager to leave the bloody scene and escape the inspector's overpowering garlic breath, quickly agrees. Later, Naughty finishes fixing the bike by replacing the damaged tank. Kim, still shaken by Buzzer's death, meets Naughty, who appears more interested in retrieving his helmet. As Kim waits, she admires the classic motorcycle, unaware that it is equally intrigued by her. Soon after, Naughty takes the bike for a test ride, encountering the same biker gang that had attacked the demonic cult. The possessed motorcycle recognizes the gang and takes control, knocking them off the road, leaving Naughty terrified. He returns home to calm down, but soon after, Inspector Cleaver shows up again, looking for more information. His garlic breath once again bothers Naughty, who insists he doesn't know anything more. The inspector leaves behind a bag with Buzzer's belongings, but when Naughty checks it, he's horrified to see Buzzer's severed head, only to realize it was just a nightmare. The next day, Naughty and Kim prepare to attend Buzzer's funeral. However, Naughty is confused when he can't find his motorcycle, which he had parked on the sidewalk the night before. With Kim's help, he finds it in the garage, and she assumes he must have just forgotten that he parked it there. Naughty tries to start the bike, but it seems reluctant to leave the dark garage, almost as if it is avoiding the sunlight. With no other options, they take the bike from work and eventually make it to the cemetery. During the funeral, Naughty helps carry Buzzer's coffin, but is startled when the same biker gang passes by. Although the gang causes a commotion, they do not recognize Naughty and continue on their way. The delivery man returns home and tries repeatedly to fix his motorcycle. After several attempts, the bike finally starts, but unknown to him, it only comes to life because the sun has just set. With the bike now running, he takes Kim to a bar to unwind. However, their night is disrupted when the biker gang shows up again. Roach, the gang leader, recognizes the motorcycle and decides to confront Naughty inside the bar. While Naughty is ordering drinks, Roach fires an arrow at him, but Naughty remains unfazed and heads to the pool table with Kim. Roach isn't ready to let things go and sends one of his henchmen, Copper, to harass Kim. She rebuffs him, and in retaliation, Copper tries to smash the pool table with his axe. The axe gets stuck, and Naughty seizes the moment to hit him in the face with a pool cue. Roach, enraged, grabs another cue and attacks Naughty, but the delivery man, experienced in bar fights, successfully blocks the attack. A chaotic brawl ensues, spilling into another room of the bar filled with knight armor and melee weapons. Roach arms himself with a sword, forcing Naughty to do the same. The two duel on a large table, but despite being outnumbered, Naughty manages to escape with Kim's help. He shoves Roach off the table and instructs Kim to grab the motorcycle so they can flee. Meanwhile, Nadi takes a different route, picking up 2 more swords, but finds himself cornered on the stairs. Roach and his gang attack again, but Nadi defends himself skillfully, using the narrow space to push them down the stairs. Nadi then jumps out of a window into a garbage barrel, but before he can escape, Roach shoots an arrow that hits him in the arm. Still, Nadi manages to get away and finds Kim already on the motorcycle, and they both escape. After the chaotic ordeal, the couple decides to take a break and grab some Chinese food. While Nadi is ordering, Kim asks for prawns with extra garlic. At the mention of garlic, the motorcycle becomes enraged. Without Nadi noticing, it takes off with Kim still on it. Kim struggles to control the bike, but it's futile as the bike drags her down a dark alley. The motorcycle finally throws her onto the sidewalk and charges at her as if to attack. With no escape in sight, Kim is saved when the bike spots a crucifix necklace she's wearing, causing it to back off. The motorcycle, still thirsty for blood, heads back to the bar where the biker gang is recovering from the earlier fight. Roach hears the motorcycle outside and sends Copper to check it out. When Copper steps outside, he discovers his own bike has been destroyed by the possessed motorcycle. Enraged, Copper mounts the demonic bike to chase down its owner, only to realize the bike is moving on its own. As metal spikes emerge from the bike, they pierce Copper's legs, and then the motorcycle throws him into an iron railing, killing him. The rest of the gang leaves the bar, but the demonic motorcycle chases them down, brutally killing them one by one with spinning harpoons. Roach, the last survivor, tries to fight back by shooting an arrow at the motorcycle, but the bike retaliates by launching a metal dart at him. Just as the motorcycle prepares to kill Roach, it suddenly turns away upon seeing a road sign resembling a cross. Meanwhile, Nadi returns home without his bike and unaware of Kim's whereabouts. He then gets a call informing him that Kim is in the hospital. Roach also ends up at the hospital, injured by the motorcycle's dart. As the police collect the bodies of his decapitated gang members, Inspector Cleaver arrives and arrests Roach for questioning. Elsewhere, the vampire motorcycle stalks a woman in a dark alley. At the hospital, Nadi finds Kim terrified after her near-death experience with the bike, but he dismisses her concerns. However, Kim insists that the motorcycle is possessed by an evil spirit. At the police station, Inspector Cleaver questions Roach, who tries to explain that a riderless motorcycle killed his gang, but the inspector doesn't believe him. Unfortunately, the demonic motorcycle continues its rampage across the city during the night. The motorcycle pauses for a rest, but it's parked in a no-parking zone. A traffic warden notices and tries to issue a ticket, placing it in the broken headlight. The headlight morphs into a sharp-toothed mouth that bites off the woman's hand and devours her. After committing several killings, the demonic motorcycle returns to the garage. The next morning, when Nadi prepares for work, he finds the garage door open and sees a human leg stuck in the motorcycle's headlight. Even more disturbing, when he opens the fuel tank, it's filled with blood instead of gasoline. Alarmed, Nadi goes to a church to seek help from a priest. Though the assistant says the priest won't be in until later, Nadi insists, eventually being taken to the confessional where the priest listens to his story about a vampire motorcycle. Skeptical but intrigued, the priest accompanies Nadi to the shed to examine the bike. Although they find no evidence of the human leg or possession, Nadi urges the priest to check the tank, revealing the blood inside. When the priest tries to move the bike into the light, it becomes enraged and severs his fingers with the brake lever. Convinced that the bike is possessed, Nadi takes the priest to the hospital where Kim is, and they discuss performing an exorcism. They realize they need to identify the specific demon inside the bike, as only a precise ritual can expel a powerful entity like Aran, one of Hell's most formidable demons. The priest prepares for the exorcism, leaving Kim with a crucifix and garlic for protection. Armed with vampire hunting tools, including a crucifix that doubles as a shuriken, the duo heads back to the garage, knowing they'll need sunlight to defeat the vampire motorcycle. However, the bike, sensing their approach, uses its powers to sabotage their journey, forcing them to take the bus, which delays them as the sun begins to set. When they finally reach the garage, it's already night, and the motorcycle's power has grown significantly. The priest starts the exorcism, holding a Bible, but his efforts seem futile. The vampire motorcycle counters by summoning fierce winds that hurl objects at Naughty and the priest. The entity even forces the priest against the door, drives screwdrivers into his hands, and crowns him with wire, mocking him as a crucified figure. Despite the assault, the priest remains determined and continues the ritual. Gradually, the motorcycle begins to weaken, prompting the priest to douse it with holy water. Instead of stopping the bike, the water melts its tank, causing iron spears to erupt from its body. The motorcycle then speeds off, but Naughty grabs a wooden crucifix, helping the priest out of the garage. They manage to shut the garage door using the crucifix, and the priest runs to get help from the police. Naughty holds the door as long as he can, but the vampire motorcycle is too strong, forcing him to flee, leaving the entity free once again. In his panic, Naughty steals a policeman's motorcycle and rides off, with the vampire motorcycle hot on his trail. This chase catches the attention of two police officers, but the bike escapes and heads straight for the hospital, where Kim is anxiously waiting for news. Meanwhile, a nurse tending to Kim smells garlic, removes all the garlic and crucifixes from the room, and gives Kim a bath. After finishing her task, Kim tries to rest, but hears an engine approaching. She clutches the crucifix in fear, but it turns out to be just another nurse bringing dinner. Unfortunately, her fears are justified as the vampire motorcycle crashes through the window, attacking the nurse with its sharp darts, pinning her to the wall, and cutting her in half with a food trolley. The motorcycle then turns its attention to Kim, who escapes from bed and grabs the crucifix for protection. Once again, the crucifix wards off the motorcycle, which then leaves the hospital and heads towards the highway. After Roach is released by the police, he's once again pursued by the relentless motorcycle. Panicking, he glances back and swerves off the road, crashing into a parked car. The impact sends him flying into a funeral home's window, where he lands in a coffin, the force of the fall trapping him inside. With Roach out of the way, the motorcycle continues its hunt and finds Naughty in a town square. As it charges at him, Naughty climbs a bridge, causing the motorcycle to get stuck in a narrow gap. Seizing the moment, Naughty lifts the bike and drops it into the water, thinking he's finally destroyed it when its headlight goes out. But as he walks away, the headlight suddenly glows red, signaling that the bike is still alive. Realizing the danger, Naughty runs for his life and encounters Inspector Cleaver, who is with Kim and the priest, all ready to help. However, Naughty, terrified, keeps running until he ends up in a gym. He tries to barricade the door, confusing the gym's members. The motorcycle breaks in, and when one of the members tries to push it, he's injured by a dart from the bike. The bike then begins chasing everyone inside. Naughty grabs an iron rod to fight back, but the motorcycle uses its spinning harpoon to sever his leg. Despite the injury, Naughty manages to strike the bike's headlight, knocking it unconscious. Inspector Cleaver, the priest, and Kim arrive, believing the threat is over. But when the academy staff try to move the bike, it suddenly attacks, proving it's still alive. It then lunges at Inspector Cleaver, who attempts to fend it off with an iron baton, but to no avail. Cornered, Cleaver releases his potent garlic breath, causing the motorcycle to recoil. Even after this, the bike charges at Naughty, who tries to escape but ends up trapped. Just as the motorcycle is about to kill him, Naughty accidentally activates the ultraviolet lights in the room. The bike's body begins to melt, and with Cleaver's garlic breath pushing it further into the light, the motorcycle is weakened. Finally, Naughty and his friends hold up their crucifixes, and the bike's body completely melts, destroying the demonic motorcycle once and for all. Kim and Naughty eventually return to their normal lives, with Naughty working on repairs in his garage. During one of these repairs, Naughty accidentally injures his hand and uses an old rag to stop the bleeding. Kim, concerned, suggests they go get the wound treated, leaving the bloody rag hanging on the wall. Unbeknownst to them, the rag is hanging over the old tank of the possessed motorcycle. When Naughty's blood touches the tank, it suddenly opens its lid and pulls the cloth inside, hinting that the vampire motorcycle is still alive. What did you think of this twist? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed the recap, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more. See you next time.